I heard the screen door slam, signaling Mom's venture towards work. I walked out on the porch with a cup of coffee and watched the thunderheads accumulate. There was going to be a good rain today. Biscuits came waddling over and sat on my foot, looking up at the thunderheads. Biscuits always sat on his porch waiting for me to wake up. As soon as he heard my door shut, he was there. He tilted his head back, ears flopping. I laughed and scratched him behind the neck. I love that beagle dog. I made it to the general store just as the rain started to come down. I hopped up on the porch and Frenchie wasn't there yet. As I waited for him, I helped Buck. Biscuits fell asleep beside Frenchie's chair. About lunchtime, I decided on a Mountain Dew in the porch. As I stepped out of the door, I saw Frenchie climbing the stairs. He didn't use the handrail. He didn't grope and feel his way up the steps. He took one step at a time, easily and meticulously. "Morning, Pina," he said with a sigh. "Hey, Frenchie, where you been?" He let out a groan as he plopped down in the chair. "Pina, could you go get me a red stripe?" He sounded tired, worn out. He reached down and scratched Biscuits behind the ears. "Morning, Poach." I went back into the store, grabbed a stripe from behind the counter, popped it open, and set it in his hand. He slammed it with one giant gulp and let out a sigh. "Some mornings it's hard for a man to face the day. Those inner pains make you want to stay away." I couldn't sit on the edge of the porch because the rain battered me on the head, so I pulled up a chair and sat beside him, watching him rock back and forth. His white eyes were a little darker that morning. After some time of just rocking in silence, he sucked in a deep breath and looked over at me. "Do you believe in magic, Pina?" Without letting me answer, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a dusty leather bag that fit in the palm of his hand. "Magic in its pure form. A diamond in the rough, yeah. Magic to keep the heart warm." His accent grew strong. It was the kind of voice that people deep in the bayou have. The kind of people that have never seen a city. They live their lives off the land. And I was looking at a different face. A face drying with age. A face that knew it didn't have much longer on this dusty earth. That face, that voice made my stomach tighten. I tried to swallow, and there was nothing there. "What is it?" My voice barely above a whisper. Lightning rolled and cracked in the distance. A huge storm was coming. "Mojo. A true mojo, yeah." His hand bounced the bag and something rattled inside. "What's in there?" "If I tell you the magic, it go away. I can tell you everything in here a part of me. My soul is in there, yeah. Magic, Peanut. Never give up the magic. You know what I'm talking about. Puppy dog breath. That cup of coffee in the morning. The faint whistle of a train. There are things that make you feel good. Warm." "Can I have a mojo bag?" I asked. "One step ahead of me, Peanut." He sat back in his chair, smiling. "Start looking. You know when you find it. You know when you find the keeper of the magic, yeah. When you do, we talk about it some more." Mom found another boyfriend to occupy her time. "This one is going to be different," she told me as she packed the bag. The guy had a cabin in the woods with a river behind it. He invited us to stay for the weekend. "We'll be staying until Sunday night." 2 days. I knew what was coming, so I packed a book. Every time we went on these little excursions with her boyfriends, Mom stayed latched to whomever it was for the weekend. I spent the entire time wandering around trying to entertain myself. At least this time we'd be camping, fishing, and maybe even eating what we caught. John was his name, and he didn't get to the house until well after dark. The truck headlights bounced into the drive, and I heard a grinding of gravel as the truck came to a halt. I was sitting on the porch, Biscuit sitting on my foot, tail thumping against my leg. Mom came dancing out of the house and jumped into his arms. He was holding a Lone Star beer, and some of it splashed on the ground. "Sorry, baby, JR tied me up at work. You wanted to talk about the new bar we're building. Damn fool brought a case of Lone Star, and we didn't get out of the office till about a half hour ago. I'm John. How you doing? That's a firm grip you got there, son." He talked a mile a minute, and his Texas accent made him sound like an inbred idiot to me. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. He was trying to shake my arm off, and I felt my whole body jiggle as he kept on talking and shaking my hand. His beer splashed out all over his hand and on some of Biscuit's, who gave the man a soft woof and jogged back to his homestead. "Well, we all be pretty late when we get there, okay? Hey, whoo, let's go. You mind sitting in the back? Got a case of beer in the front, and only me and your mama can fit." "Good. Well, let's go." I sat in the back with my head down, eyes burning. John was a construction worker. The remnants of the last job he'd worked on were blowing into my eyes, up my nose, and down my shirt. I really didn't like this guy. After about an hour of riding in this sawdust whirlwind, the truck came to a skidding halt, slamming me into the front of the bed as it did. "Hey, two doctors sit in the cabin. Let's go sit on the bank and build a fire. What do you say? Okay, let's go." Woo! John and Mom bounced down the hill to the river. I scraped sawdust out of my eyes and followed blindly. He got the fire going, talking about nothing important the entire time he did it. They drank beer, and I watched the fire, knees up to my chin. I kept thinking of Frenchie as I stared at the flames. I could see the bag. What rattled inside that bag? Whatever it was magical. I wondered what I would put in my bag. Perhaps some of the coal from the fire. No, it didn't hold any meaning, and besides, it reminded me of John, and I hated that guy. I looked up from the coals and through the dancing flames, and I saw them kissing. I ran up to the cabin. John had unlocked it before we went down to the river, and the door opened with a loud creak.